Hello, I'm Maritza Reyes.
And I'm Tajay Britton. The Oakleaf Online starts now.
You're watching the Oakleaf Online, a production of the Media 19 studio production class. Today is Wednesday, March 9th, 2022.
Governor Newsom announced on Monday that school mask mandates will be lifted on March 12th as COVID cases in the state are on the decline. This announcement comes as Oregon and Washington also plan to drop their school mask mandates. SRJC will continue to require that all faculty, students, and staff wear masks while indoors for the remainder of the spring semester. However, they are making exceptions for public performers on stage, in concerts, and in our TV studio. In the city of Sonoma, businesses are starting to open back up as deaths related to the Omicron variant are on the decline. Oakleaf reporters Darlene Ducharme, Natalie Heisenbuttel, and Renaud Ducombe report on the welcome return of tourism to Sonoma County.
A trip to wine country. With its natural beauty, fine wine, and fresh food, Sonoma draws visitors from near and far, especially during the fall harvest season, when the grapes are picked and the air is perfumed with that yeasty, fermenting goodness. But since the start of the pandemic, business had been slow, very slow. According to the city of Sonoma, hotel room tax collections fell to less than a third of average by January of this year, and only began really recovering when mask and other restrictions eased in early summer. And recover it has. Starting in June, the hotel occupancy rate has been back to 2019 levels.
There's definitely been a lot of demand for people to come here and visit, and also the inability to get out and go. So because people haven't had the chance to go to Europe or other places, Sonoma was a great place for them to come and a good choice. And of course, come on, it's lovely. Who wouldn't want to come here?
You eat you're outdoors. So yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, we all still need to be careful, but it's definitely way more relaxed.
With the recent lifting of restrictions on international travel to the U.S., things are likely to continue to get better, barring any worsening of the COVID crisis. Omicron does have some folks a little worried, but time will tell. Sonoma's unofficial greeter, Patrick Garcia, who can be found on any given day sitting outside a Plaza bakery chatting with passersby, is happy to be back at his job as a one-man welcoming committee.
I speak to people from all over the world right here. And one of the things that about 30% of the people tell me is this is one of the most, if not the most friendly city in the United States that they've been in. And I love to hear that too.
And then there are those who just come for the donuts. Darlene Ducharme, Sonoma.
Thank you for that report. In national news, President Biden gave his State of the Union speech last week. He announced his plan to cap prescription drug prices and increase testing to combat COVID-19. He also emphasized the need for Americans to get vaccinated and boosted. But the most rousing part of the address was Biden's rally cry for Ukraine, as common citizens there are taking up arms to defend their cities from advancing Russian soldiers. Many are viewing this showdown between Russia and NATO as one of authoritarianism versus democracy. In his address, Biden announced serious penalties against Russia, including a no-fly zone for Russian planes over the United States and severe economic sanctions. Countries around the world are enforcing similar penalties in what is amounting to the most severe economic punishment against one country in modern times. Some economists are referring to these collective sanctions as the fiscal equivalent of a tactical strike.
Despite the severe economic pressures, Russia continues to advance its troops deeper and deeper into Ukrainian territory. Ukraine has survived an onslaught of bombings each night as most of its citizens are either fleeing the violence or joining the local defense force. Many have been surprised by the resiliency of the Ukrainian army as they have pushed back hard against the advancing Russian troops and slowed down their progress significantly. President Zelensky of Ukraine continues to plead with the world for help as more and more citizens are being killed. Here with a live map of the situation in Ukraine is Eva Dominicelli.
As you can see from this New York Times live map, Russian forces have bombed most of the outskirts of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, and have started to surround it. This would cut the city off from the capital city of Kyiv. Kyiv is also dangerously close to being surrounded by Russian soldiers. Russia continues to make small advances towards the city of Dnipro and have already taken control of the southeast city of Polohy, leaving the city without heat, running water, or electricity for nearly a week. Russian forces continue to invade from all entry points of Ukraine, determined to defeat any defending troops that stand in their way. Back to you.
Thank you, Ava, for that perspective. In SRJC news, the college will hold an in-person graduation ceremony for the first time since 2019. The president, Dr. Chong, confirmed this in an announcement recently, saying the college was happy to be acknowledging student success in person once again. Graduation will be held on Saturday, May 28th at the Santa Rosa main campus. Students wishing to participate must submit an application for their degree or certificate by April 1st, which can be done through Students' Online Portal.
And in SRJC Sports news, the Bear Cubs basketball teams have done it again. Both men's and women's teams earned playoff spots at the California Community College Athletic Association last week after finishing in the top half of the Big 8 conference standings. The men's team shared the conference title with San Joaquin Delta, while the women's finished third overall. The playoffs took place on Thursday, March 3rd. Both the men's and the women's teams had close losses in the first round. The men's basketball team were the number 7 seed in the North Cal bracket and lost to number 9 Los Medanos, while the women's basketball team were also the number 7 seed and lost to number 10 Merced. Great season for both basketball teams. Go Bear Cubs!
That concludes this episode of the Oak Leaf Online. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
This has been a production of the Spring 2022 Media 19 Studio Production Class.